Hey, welcome to the Board Game Network. I'm going to be explaining to you how to play this game called Garbage Day. You are just an average teenager, or maybe an adult, who knows. And your goal is to not take out the trash. You've got your room here. Everybody gets a room card. They have their overflow on one side, your room on the other side, and you start out with some clutter in your room already. And you look for these ones with a star here, and it says clutter at the top. So going through here, I have to get a clutter card. There's a clutter card. So each player has a clutter card already in their room. They've already got some clutter in their room. And that goes to the left of your room card. And you're dealt 2 cards from the deck after it's shuffled. And your goal is to stack garbage in an overflowing garbage can. And if your room gets too full of garbage, which is represented to the left of your room card, then you have to put that garbage into the garbage can. You have to clean up your room. If the trash falls out of the garbage can, then you put it into your overflow. And if your overflow gets too full, you are out of the game. So here's the setup. You have your room card, you get 1 clutter card, you get 2 cards dealt to you. And the player who most recently took out the garbage can, he's the first player. So on your turn, each player does these steps. You draw up to 3 cards in your hand. So you're starting with 2, so you normally just would draw 1 card, but if you ever play more than 1 out of your hand, you draw until you got 3 cards in your hand. If you start with 3 cards for some reason, you're not going to draw. Then you play 1 card, and where you play it is based on these icons on the upper corners of the cards. Here's a purple kind of card, and that gets played in your room. So you just set it down to the left of your room card. If you have a blue one, which shows a trash can, that goes on the trash can. So you're throwing that trash in the trash can. And some of these you'll notice have more than 1 icon, so you can do one or either one that you want to. And then there's the red icon, and those have some kind of verbiage on them that explains to you how to play the card. And that card is normally to put stuff in other people's rooms. Like this one says, unlocked door. After you place this card in a player's room, move garbage cards from your room into that player's room. You may do this until that player's room reaches 6 cards. So you put that in with the clutter. This card goes in with the clutter there, and you can move up to until they have 6 cards in their room. So you can move all of your trash over into their room. How's that? And so once you have played your card, then you check the room to see if you have 10 or more points of garbage in your room. Each of these cards has a number down here, and you just add that up. So this has a 3 and a 0 and a 3 and a 1. So that room has 7 points in garbage. So if it ever gets to 10 or more, so let's throw, there's a 5. You have to clean your room and throw your trash in the garbage. And then the 4th step is to check your overflow. If your overflow is ever greater than or equal to the number on here based on the number of players, then you're out of the game. So for a 2-player, that is 5 cards. For a 3-player, it's 4. 4 players, it's 4. And a 5-player, it's 3. So on those red cards, these red cards here, the text themselves is optional. After you play that in somebody's room, you can choose not to do what the card says if you don't want to. Okay, if cards ever fall off the garbage can because of like a ceiling fan or a cat or something like that, it's not one of the players' faults. You just leave the cards on the table, and then whoever knocks cards off next time would pick up those cards off the table as well. And if you have no other cards in the deck, you just skip your draw and you go ahead and play out your hand. If you ever run out of cards in your hand, then you play cards one at a time out of your room onto the garbage can. And the game ends when there's only one player left, or all cards have been played, and whoever the winner is whoever has the least number of cards in their overflow. So here's the rules for playing cards on the garbage can. You have to do it one at a time. You can't put two up here at a time, just one at a time. You have to do it face up with the title up so you can read the title. You have to do it one-handed, no two-handed thing. You have to be able to see the playing surface through the holes. I don't know if you can see this or not, but there are holes punched in every one of these cards. So you have to lay it out here so that you can see through the holes. Now, if you don't realize it or not, what happens is once you get a bunch of these cards up here, you have to keep putting the card farther and farther out to be able to see through those holes. So they get more tipsy and more tipsy. You cannot move the cards, the other cards, when you put down your card. And you must put your card on top, no sliding it under. And if you're placing more than one card, you wait 3 seconds in between cards. When would you play more than one card? Well, that's when you're cleaning your room and you got a bunch of cards over here and they've added up to 10 or more. You have to pick all those up and you have to start throwing them away. So you would wait 3 seconds in between. But once some of these get way out here, you're going to have, oop, that one's backwards. You're going to have some fall off like that, and all of those that fall off get put in your overflow, and if your overflow is meeting the criteria for the number of players, then you're out of the game. So this is a very, not very high mental skill level, not a lot of thinking, but it is fun physically to play, and that's why I'm saying that this definitely plays younger than 13 years, because you can have your 10-year-old in there playing this. This would be a fun game for him too. So that's how you play Garbage Day. Make sure you tune into all of our videos here at the Board Game Network.